in appreciation of the stylists of America.
It's definitely art. I mean, it's a classic piece of illustration that, is timeless.
Oh, for sure, it's art. It's still so fresh, and it's just phenomenal to see.
Some of the shading techniques and some of the illustrative techniques and the stroke of the pen is just fantastic to watch. It's quite inspiring.
The styles, the different medias they use, the pastels, the prisma, the papers are great.
As a tribute to men and women who design.
This was, and should continue to be the automotive capital of the universe.
Inasmuch as America is a democratic country, inasmuch as we have made that promise about life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness as inalienable rights that belong to us all, Detroit is the place that made that promise real.
I would say the auto designers influenced the Americana more than any other product that's ever been developed.
Yeah, I think Detroit shaped American culture massively. Coming at it as an outsider, everything that I think of as American culture is based around cars. It's based around the way the cities are laid out, and industrial design in general has really shaped what American culture is.
It's appropriate to say that a 20th century car is a rolling sculpture.
The amount of art on the streets that was created in those studios at Ford, GM, and Chrysler is just unimaginable. There's never been a culture in history that had anything like that, not even close.
If you had said to somebody sitting at the Globe Theater when Shakespeare was on the stage and said, someday this is going to be one of the world's great literary texts, they would have laughed you out of the globe.
I like to think that Detroit, 200 years from now, will be remembered as we remember today Florence in the Renaissance or Rome in the 17th century.
You could argue in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s that Detroit was one of the most important art centers of America, of the world.
I always wanted to make it just one little step further, reach a little bit further, and make it a little bit better.
I had more ideas flying around in my mind than I had time to put on paper.
Where automobile designers in the design world, at least in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, were kind of at the bottom of the food chain. They were considered just a cut above jukebox designers.
These were just laborers in a cubicle.
In essence, we had signed a contract that everything we designed, including our patents, belonged to the corporation. And that was true for all the major auto companies.
We hated to see our sketches destroyed, going to the chopper, although literally hundreds and hundreds of mine did, and I know that's true of other designers too.
And a lot of guys didn't save them, they played the game, and I wasn't about to. I was proud of my work, and I was proud of my success, proud of my education, proud of my scholastic achievements, and I wasn't going to let them just be tossed out.
90% of this artwork was destroyed, and that's the reason why it's relatively unknown and the artists are nameless.
I ironed them. It took me a whole summer to iron all of these drawings. Because I knew, I said, these, take the time and take care of them.
And I cut up one of these vellum tubes at an angle, put an angle in them. I go, that's a nice little shape. So I taped two of them together, and I put chrome tape on them. And these are exactly the way I had placed them on the car. I put nails through the cardboard, nailed it right to the clay, and that's the way John DeLorean released it, just like that.
And I'm driving, I see one of these cars in the road. I might even have an accident because I get distracted. It really has this magnetic power.
I think these beautiful car illustrations, like opera, like Shakespeare, are the same. They're absolute classics. They're gorgeous. They're beautiful.
These nameless, faceless, but brilliant artists came to Detroit and they shaped American culture.
The American dream was to do the best you could and have people recognize it as good work. And I had that dream too.